Hello everyone, Robin here at Toadstool Tarot, and I have a really interesting deck to share with you today. I challenge you to challenge yourselves with this deck. It is very unusual, and now I know that some of you have biases towards or against decks that incorporate IA software, which this does, but please don't run away from that just yet. This deck is the Primordial Dreams Tarot by Lynae, Ariadne, Zebest. And it is a deck that I discovered on, I believe, on Etsy. When I was looking for, I'm always looking for eclectic or unusual decks, but for some time I've been looking for a deck that feels like cave art, something very raw and dramatic and primordial. And the creator of this deck had that in mind when they created it. They had studied a lot of illustrations from various books and photographs of art in caves. And they are not specifically a visual artist, and they used AI in order to help them realize what they were looking for. There's a lengthy essay both online on the web page that you should read beforehand, and also in the book. Not sure which order to take these things in. First of all, the tarot comes in this drawstring bag, canvas, and the tarot is in a two-part heavy box, and I should show you, there's the cover, there's a labeling there. And it comes with a book that's slightly larger than the box, and it's a really important book. It's really well written. I'm not going to read from it for you, but it's very important to read this. The creator created this deck originally for themselves, and then got such support from it, they created a Kickstarter and decided to produce and release the deck for others. It came out in 2022, so it's not entirely new, but it was new to me. It also comes with this very important little guide card here, which has color and suit correspondences on one side, which is important, and court card symbol guide on the other. This is important, the book is important, because these are unnumbered cards. They were meant originally to be totally intuitive. Now, the colors of the four suits are sort of a yellowish gold, kind of a brown, red, and blue. The yellow gold is the wand suit, which in this case is assigned to air, the air sign, rather than the fire sign. Don't know whether that's workable depending on your intuition or not about switching it around, but the intent was that the yellow sign would be wands, the brown earth is coins, the red fire is swords, and the blue water is cups. So in case you need a reminder, there's that little card in with the book or box to remind you. And it's smaller than the cards. The other side of the thing shows how they designated the court cards, and the court sequence goes from initiate, which has a spiral symbol on it, hero, which is the knight, which has an X on it, mother, which has an I on it, and father, which has a sort of bent arrow. So that's also important until you get to learn these cards to have to one side. The major arcana was created initially, and there's a lengthy essay in terms of how the process was done. So this was not a simple, type in random words to the AI. This incorporated AI in a way. I can't get into a lot of details, but the creator does in the book. And I was taken by the imagery because it looks to me like it was hand-drawn or painted rather than spewed out by an AI program. But they were particularly fond of this particular program. They tried a number of them, and there was a lot of sort of channeling and editing involved. And there's something about this that I really like, in that it kind of brings intelligent thought or channeled thought full circle in imagining how cave people might have created images had they created a tarot deck at the time, and how AI, artificial intelligence programs of the future and present, might translate that. So it's kind of like the past meets the future in this kind of cycle or circle, and through the cosmos they sort of have this handshake agreement to come up with these images. The cards are a little bit shorter than a standard tarot card, but a little bit wider, as you can see. They are linen, but they're a heavy linen stock. The edges are a sort of a shiny black obsidian volcanic glass kind of edge. And I love the back design. The color palette is really very earthy, very I don't know how to describe it. It's sort of like Aboriginal, indigenous, Native American, European cave art. There's a quality to some of the figures that are sort of like skinwalkers, and some like sort of shamanic type imagery. As I was started to say, the major arcana was created first, and then there was a pause of a couple of weeks, and then they went back and did the minor suits, and in the meantime the AI had kind of educated itself or updated itself so that the image and the minor arcana didn't quite match the imagery of the major arcana. You'll see some similarities there and some differences, but I think it's interesting that they're sort of connected and yet they're sort of separate. And initially, the majors were of ultimate importance to the creator, and then it was decided that the minors were preferable to include, and so they went ahead and created those. Again, I say the book is very important. It's a really good book, both information-wise. There are a lot of spreads in here, but also it's got like full-color sort of sheen images of all the cards with, you know, one page of information about each one. And the reason you'll need this book initially is because the cards aren't marked. Some of them can be readily identified just by looking at them, and others you'll have to commit to memory or refer to the book to remember which they are. There's the challenge. So they also included 2 extra cards in amongst the majors. So I'm going to try and show you the cards and help you out with these. The minors, the creator's partner actually went in and sort of coded them with dots, sort of like fingerprint dots on a cave wall, for the numbers in the 4 elements. The 4 elements are in different colors, and the quartz, you saw the symbols for the quartz, those are on the minors. But the majors have no numbers, no designation at all. And some of them you will recognize, and others might be a little bit of a challenge. So they also added 2 cards to the majors, one at the beginning for a 0-0, and then one at the end for 22. And the 0-0 one is the self, which is, the keywords are ego, identity, and position. Then we have the Fool. I'm going to use this because some of them have been renamed. The Fool. And I still haven't decided whether I'm just going to learn these and commit them to memory, or heavily use the book until I do, or whether I might take a Sharpie or a little marker to put numbers on the cards. I don't really want to deface them, but it might be helpful for me to do that, either on the back or somewhere on the front. There's part of me that really likes the idea that these have no numbers on them. They can be used intuitively like an oracle. But there's also the tarot system, which I think would be helpful to have the number identification on them. Oh, did I mention they're linen? Yeah, I think I did. They're kind of a heavy linen stock. The Magician, number 1. I should say what I feel or what I see as we go along in order to help identify them. The Fool kind of has, to me, an appearance of a fool, sort of like moving every which way, sort of like where to step off or where it's going. The Magician is sort of like radiating outwards, as if they are creating action, manifestation, imagination. Number 2, the priestess, intuition, spirituality, serenity. This has a very priestess feel to me, with these sort of like ghostly, almost hands, I guess, sort of reaching from the spirit world. The matriarch instead of the empress, for fertility, sensuality, empathy. Sorry, I'm fumbling a little bit. Did I mention the priestess keywords were intuition, spirituality, serenity? So the empress is fertility, sensuality, empathy. The patriarch, which is the emperor, authority, protection, leadership. This feels very emperor to me, because of the sort of stance and the kind of masculine quality of that card. The priest, the patriarch is authority, protection, leadership. The priest is tradition, scholarship, wisdom. And this one looks sort of like a figure in a robe where elements or energy is sort of connecting it like a web to areas around it, as if it's drawing information or expelling information. And there's a certain kind of structure to the symbols on the vest or what's being worn. Some of these are a little more obvious than others, like this one, the lovers, number 6, intimacy, decisions, instinct. I think you can see there 2 embracing figures. So that one is maybe one of the first easiest ones to read, is the lovers. 7 is a victory, which, sorry, did I say? The lovers, intimacy, decisions, instinct. I keep forgetting whether I read you the keywords or not. 7, victory, which is the chariot card. Success, progress, movement. And this has some wheels at the bottom. It has an image that looks like it might be a long sort of creature-drawn wagon, and a sort of a bird-like figure or something in or on the wagon. There's sort of movement involved there. Number 8 is strength, courage, ferocity, willpower, and that's very obviously lion-like. Then number 9 is the hermit, meditation, solitude, introspection. It looks sort of like an cosmic eye or something in the forehead of this figure, which may or may not be bearded. It looks sort of like it's in between 2 pine trees. I guess that's a rib cage, but next is 10, the wheel, destiny, luck, fate. This one's an easier one because you can see a wheel. Number 11 is justice, balance, accountability, consequences. And you can see a scales, set of scales very readily there. Number 12 for the hangman is suspension, which is surrender, sacrifice, stillness. Also, depending on whether you use reversals or not, this may be a little difficult. because the backs do look like they are reversible, and so you may have to commit these to memory. Number 13 is death, endings, transformation, loss, and you see a skeletal figure there. Number 14 is temperance. This is a little more difficult for me. Number 15 is the devil, temptation, vices, materialism. Sorry, temperance says equilibrium, moderation, healing. The devil, temptation, vices, materialism. And you can see a devil there, I think. '16, the tower, upheaval, chaos, liberation. And this is a quite beautiful tower. Number 17, the star, hope, inspiration, blessings. An obvious star. Number 18, the moon, mystery, dreams, uncertainty. And there's a moon. Number 19, the sun, vitality, enlightenment, clarity, and an obvious sun. Number 20, instead of judgment, is called creation, renewal, awakening, redemption. And 21, the world, completion, possibilities, wholeness. And then we have a final major arcana card, 22, the dreamer, creativity, spontaneity, whimsy. So those are the majors, which I'm going to have a little bit of a time committing to memory. Then we go into the suits, and we have the suit of air, which, as I remind you, is in this deck, wands. And the illustrations are slightly different in the book because the cards have been added dots to, or symbols, in order to identify these, which makes them much easier. So the one of air, rather than the ace, is invention, projects, ideas, and you see this sort of like fingerprint kind of dot, black dot on the belly. And then the two of air is plans, courage, paths. You see in the upper right-hand corner, the two dots. And these are color-coded to help you remember. So this suit is color-coded in yellow for air. Number 3 of air, acumen, enterprise, negotiation. You see the 3 dots down the back of an animal figure there. Number 4 of air, belonging, tranquility, abundance. And you see 4 dots there. Five of air, disagreement, struggle, unrest. Six of air, triumph, advancement, optimism. 7 of air, tribulation, defiance, confrontation. 8 of air, excitement, acceleration, haste. 9 of air, discipline, resoluteness, subterfuge. 10 of air, pressure, expectations, obligations. 'Then we get to the courts. And the initiate of air, which would be the page, has that little spiral there. Maverick, visionary, intense. These are the key words on the cards. There are lengthier descriptions on each page. The hero of air, which would be the knight, is traveler, adventurer, risk taker. The mother of air, inspirational, charming, supportive. You see the eye at the top there. It's funny how a lot of these figures resemble bats or deer of some type, or bulls, horned figures, which reminds me a lot of wolves, sort of this idea of the skinwalker. And the father of air here, which rounds out this suit of air, dynamic, inventor, mentor, and you see the bent arrow there to indicate the king or father. Then we go to the next suit, which is the earth suit, which is the pentacles, and this has a darkish kind of charcoal kind of color to it, sort of charcoal brown. The one of earth, again the dot on the forehead there. Attainment, prosperity, wealth. The 2 of earth, imbalance, inadequacy, stress. 3 of earth, mastery, ability, cooperation. 4 of earth, collecting, hoarding, miserliness. 5 of earth, destitution, bankruptcy, failure. 6 of earth, generosity, charity, kindness. 7 of earth, ingenuity, diligence, cleverness. 8 of earth, study, apprenticeship, craftsmanship. 9 of earth, accomplishment, foresight, discernment. 10 of earth, inheritance, stability, ancestry. Now, I know these are going to be a challenge to some of you. I think they're going to be a challenge to me because the imagery doesn't initially give me intuitive messages. I'm going to have to dig a little bit deeper. But I kind of like that. And I love the fact that these are mysterious images. They're not comical, they're not unserious. There's something about them that has the mystery intrigue of some long lost recovered tarot. The initiative earth, dedicated, studious, ambitious. That would be the page again. The hero of earth is methodical, persistent, prescient. And I think that even if you don't use these cards for divination, that the imagery is very intriguing in terms of the art, that it's like an interesting deck of art cards where the ancient meets the modern. Some of them remind me of, Picasso imagery or some other cubists, perhaps. We have the Mother of Earth, aesthetics, education, philanthropy. The Father of Earth, shrewd, reliable, industrious. Then we go to the fire suit. The one of fire, honesty, determination, conquest. Two of fire, blockage, impasse, stalemate. Three of fire, estrangement, separation, opposition. Four of fire, respite, exile, retreat. And if I didn't say it already, the fire suit is red, which is obvious here. Oops. Skipped a page here. Five of fire, defeat, dishonor, degradation. Six of fire, journeys, headstrong, perseverance. Seven of fire, deception, betrayal, secrecy. Eight of fire, crisis, conflict, trapped. Nine of fire, despair, anxiety, nightmares. 10 of fire, ruin, anguish, desolation. The initiate of fire, vigilant, cunning, diplomatic. the hero of fire, dauntless, defender, impetuous. Mother of fire, exacting, survivor, powerful. Father of fire, perceptive, judicial, objective. And lastly, we go to the suit of water. The one of water, connection, emotion, pleasure. The two of water, love, passion, union. The three of water, and did I mention this suit is blue? Three of water, fulfillment, friendship, celebration. Four of water, weariness, apathy, stagnation. Five of water, regret, shallowness, loneliness. Six of water, nostalgia, memory, reminiscence. Seven of water, indecision, daydreams, illusions. Eight of water, abandonment, withdrawal, seclusion. Nine of water, satisfaction, well-being, healthfulness. 10 of water, security, contentment, peace. Initiate of water, meditative, imaginative, idealistic. Hero of water, charismatic, romantic, artistic. Mother of water, sensitive, empathic, loving. And last but not least, the father of water, passionate, creative, intuitive. Now, at first glance, these keywords didn't all resonate with me and the images. And I think this is a deck that is going to challenge me to use. Once I can identify which cards each of the images is, I can use my knowledge of the tarot to read with it and add an intuitive layer of the imagery over top of what the designation is. But I may develop my own sort of layer of visual intuition or inspiration from the cards after having used them. This is not a deck, I don't think, that's easy to just pick up and use right out of the box. And I'm not sure that this is going to be one to read for others. I think you may want to delve into just for yourself. I'm glad I did this walkthrough because now I can shuffle the cards and get a sense of how I might work with them. I'm still going to be relying heavily on the booklet until I have the images memorized, and of course the minors are going to be easier for me to remember, I think, than the majors because of the dots and symbols and the colors. So there you have it, the Primordial Dreams Tarot by Lynae, Ariadne, Zebest. And I am quite thrilled and excited to have this and can't wait to work with it. These dreamlike images are going to be really challenging and really interesting to me. And I generally love overall the color palette, which looks almost like ashes and blood on a cave wall or an animal skin. The only one that isn't like that is the last suit, the water suit in blue. The blue color is a little bit less earthy, shall we say. But yeah, I'm really intrigued by this deck, and hope that you can move beyond any prejudices or biases or lack of understanding of the use of AI as a tool in creating a deck of this caliber for use. I'm also going to include or attach below in the comments a link to an interview that was done on another channel with the creator of the deck, where they go into some detail explaining how the tools were used and how the deck came about. So I hope you'll sit through that as well and consider investing in this exploration. Thank you for watching with me and hanging out all the way through. I know it's been a little bit of a lengthy walkthrough, and I hope to see you all again very soon. Take care. Bye.